Hey, it's me again. I don't think I ever mentioned my name in the previous episode. I mean, that was an episode for me to break the ice. It was my practice episode, so I thought I was never meant to release that episode, but I did. Alright, so I am Naomi, and this is my podcast channel, Evolving with Mimi. It's 2 a.m. over here, and my mind has been in circles, pretty much processing everything that unfolded through the day. And I was like, this is actually a good one to share because it speaks about people pleasing, the guilt that you feel when you have to say no to people. And lastly, very important message to put some respect on your intuition. I think that's what I'm gonna call this episode. Put some respect on your intuition. That feeling of fear, that anxiety, that increased heart rate, sinking feeling in your chest that hurts the moment you're considering saying no because a request someone has made just doesn't sit right with your nervous system. But also you're feeling guilty because you're thinking, if I say no, what's going to happen? So, this moment, the message coming through right now is whenever you have that sinking feeling related to request or communication coming towards you from someone else, you need to honor yourself, honor your intuition, put some respect on your gut feeling, your intuition, and just say no. It's tough. Like the moment you make the decision that you're going to stop people pleasing, it requires you being very intentional about respecting your own boundaries. How do you want other people to respect your boundaries when you don't even respect yours? So, like I said, this channel I would pretty much be sharing with you in real time my own life events and the wisdom that I have gained through the process to also help you on your own journey, okay? We're all on this journey of self healing journey of becoming, but the truth is, we're not going to keep healing forever. At some point, you're going to have to embody that version of you that's healed. And in order to do that, you need to take little steps each day to make sure that you're honoring yourself, honoring your boundaries, honoring your own decisions. Okay? So for me, currently what I'm dealing with right now is a loss of a property that had to do with obviously the old version of me, the old timeline, the one that was in a marriage where I pretty much put my partner's wants and needs over mine. And I pretty much minimized myself to keep the relationship going. The moment I decided I was done, it took me choosing to say I will not die in marriage. Because it's hard, like it's hard to prove to people that you're going through emotional abuse. Who is going to believe you when the person you're literally dealing with is quote unquote perfection? Anyways, back to the loss of property, right? This is the timeline of the story, okay? There's me off work on maternity leave dealing with 3 months old twins. And I decided I wasn't going to continue getting abused in the marriage and I was done. And the next best thing that my then partner would do is stop paying the mortgage. It dawned on me that, this human was willing to have me and the kids become homeless. It just wasn't registering in my brain, you know? Anyways, that's probably a story for another day. My point is, so the house was going to be repossessed, and I was okay with that. I was at the point of choosing my battles. So I was just going to focus on my mental health and providing optimum care to the kids. I wasn't going to let anything undeserving of my energy have my energy anymore. So I had made up my mind to let things be. And then I get a random call from a friend who's also a realtor saying, "Oh, what's going on? How are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm good. We moved into an apartment already. All is well. And I'm moving on with my life. I have closed that chapter. I don't want anything to tie me down to that chapter because I have moved on." And she insisted and pressured and said, no, no, she has to help. She could list the property, and at least worst case scenario, we would not be owing the bank and I don't have to take on this debt. I'm like, oh, okay, if that's possible, no problem. But just so you know, I'm detached from the situation already. It's not something I want to keep dragging along because, again, I'm on this journey of self, and this was just one of the tower moments I had to experience, one of the uncontrolled collapses I had to experience in order to jump into my new timeline. And I have accepted it. But if the ex agrees, then you can move on. Because obviously, these are decisions that I couldn't take by myself. It was a joint property. And mind you, I paid part of the mortgage up until 2 months into my maternity leave. But yeah, I got wiser when I saw how bad the abuse was. You know, when you've been in an abusive situation for so long, it takes you seeing things from a bird's eye view to understand what you were really going through. It was a lot of manipulation tactics. So I let this realtor go ahead with listing property while I moved on with healing and taking care of my kids. I poured my energy into other aspects of life. I guess this realtor, she has a drive for following through and winning in the end. That at some point, I feel like she lost sight of the fact that I didn't go to her to sell this house. She came to me and insisted she wanted to help because she saw I was in distress. So the old me would be grateful for this support system. But sometime this week, she pretty much came to me and stated that there was an offer, the decision had to be made in the next 2 days, but this offer was still going to leave me in hundreds of thousands of debt. So I told her I'm going to have to consult with my lawyer and financial advisor about this situation because it's not making sense, especially if the other party I'm dealing with is surface level cooperative but behind the scene not cooperative. You know how the manipulation game works, like give you just enough to make you feel like they're there or to make people see the version of them that is there and supportive. But the grand scheme of things at the end of the day is to truly just take you through this ride of distress, of hurt, just ways to torture you without people observing or noticing that you're being tortured. Because that's pretty much how the marriage went, and that's pretty much the tactics he's continued even through the separation and divorce drama. Anyways, why am I sharing this? I'm being guided to share the most vulnerable aspects of me on this podcast because whenever Spirit guides me to share these stories, then there is someone who is needing to hear the wisdom from the story to help them through their own situation too. So if you're listening to this and you can relate, I just want you to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. Okay? There is light at the end of the tunnel, and you're just being guided to remain consistent. Nobody is asking you to be strong. I know we're all tired of being strong, but you're being asked to trust that tiny beam of light at the end of the tunnel. Trust it. It's going to keep you going until you get there. Anyway, so I get back to this realtor in a message format, which is the way I usually update her on my decisions and actions that I've taken. So I send her a message thanking her for everything she's done, but also letting her know that after consulting and reassessing my status, the most aligned decision for I and my kids at this moment in time is to let things go. And she just went wild, talking about how I at least owed her the decency of a phone call, even if I had made my decisions, which multiple times I have tried to let her know that this isn't aligned for me anymore. But she would just push and push and push. And it was so draining. Every time I saw a call or message from her, my heart would skip. Like literally. Anxiety and fear. But I was still giving. And it was draining my energy. Remember, when you're on a journey of self, it's about you picking and choosing what's deserving of your energy. And I just want you to know that every time you go through that question, always pick you first. Even if you're caring for kids, if you don't fill your cup, I'm not sure where you expect the energy to come from for you to fill the cups of your kids, right? I'm also a registered nurse by background, and we're told always before you go into a patient's room who's flagged for infection, it doesn't matter if the patient is going through an emergency at that moment in time, you need to take the time to first off protect yourself by putting on your PPE, the mask, your glove, all of that stuff before you go into the patient's room. The same phenomenon applies to life as it is in general, how you live your life. Back to the realtor story. The more she frantically called my phone and texted, the more my eyes became open. The less guilt I felt for telling her no. And the more important it was for me to keep my boundaries up. Because at that point, it was her not being professional anymore. She even went as far as trying to guilt trip me, talking about how I was going to get her in trouble with the real estate licensing board. Now, in that moment, my intuition is going ding ding, what's going on? I'm confused. The old me would find the need to over explain and try to defend myself and my actions and decisions. But the new me, what did I do? I stayed grounded in my decision. I didn't see the need for this whole endless loop of draining energy from me when my decision is final. And at that point, it was just her crossing boundaries and not respecting my decision. Why the emotional tug of war going on? So that's what brought me to episode 2. You need to become very intentional about putting some respect on your intuition, on your gut feeling. Very intentional about respecting your boundaries so that when someone tries, you don't even let them cross it. When they show signs of attempting to cross your boundaries, you're instantly ready to say no without regrets, no without guilt. Don't ever displease yourself to please someone else. At the end of the day, everybody is in this race of putting themselves first. So why don't you put you first? I hope this helps you continue to make that conscious decision to put yourself first. And just so you know, it's not easy at first, especially if you're a recovering people pleaser. Okay? So nobody is telling you that it's going to be magic, but you are being encouraged at this moment in time to be intentional about the process and know that it only gets easier down the line. At some point, you're not going to feel that chest pain that comes with saying no. The feeling of, oh my gosh, I feel guilty right now. You're not going to feel it anymore. You're just going to know I'm saying no because this situation makes me uncomfortable. This situation makes my nervous system uncomfortable. Literally, when a situation is not good for you or not aligned with you at that moment in time, it comes with chest tightness. You feel it, but you choose to dismiss it. Our body serves as a signal for us to know what our soul truly desires. So you need to start listening to the signs that your body is giving you. I don't know if you've ever heard of stories of people talking about how their body knew the relationship was not good for them by, you know, giving them signs of insomnia, skin reaction, hair loss. Someone even spoke about the pinky toe nail not growing when they were in the bad relationship. But yeah, listen to the signs of your body. Some have migraines and they don't even know why. All right. Well, it was nice talking tonight. Bye. Talk soon.